Welcome to Matters Podcast, where combat sports, mindset, and real-life lessons collide. Hosted by Derving and Nate, we dive into jiu-jitsu, wrestling, MMA, and the grind that shapes athletes inside and outside the mat. Every episode we bring stories, strategies, and raw conversations that fuel growth, resilience, and community. Stay tuned because it's more than a fight, it's a lifestyle. Welcome back to another episode of Matters Podcast. I'm your host, Derving, and as always, sitting across from me is my guy, Nate. Nate, today we have an absolute loaded slate. I'm talking about major moves on the mat, heavy transfer portal news, a massive streaming business pivot, and a really heavy controversial headlines off the mat. Here's what we are breaking down today. Former UFC contender Anthony Lionheart Smith is facing serious felonies charges in Nebraska. Cornell legend Meyer Shapiro is packing his bags for Lincoln to join the Huskers. In New Jersey, he dropped a bombshell, stripping Rutgers commit Anthony Knox Jr. of his fourth New Jersey State title after a long legal battle. Missouri icon Keegan O'Toole officially calls it a career on the competitive mat, and Flossboard attempts to tackle paywall fatigue by launching a free ad-supported channel on Amazon Prime Video. Nate, there's a smooth way to start today, so we're jumping straight into the heavy stuff. Let's start with Sarpy County, Nebraska, former UFC light heavyweight title challenger Anthony Lionheart Smith. He was arrested and currently is being held without a bond. The charges are heavy domestic violence, causing serious bodily injury, 36 threats, in first-degree false imprisonment. That is, now look, we have stated up front that this is our allegation, but severity of these charges is shocking. For years, Anthony Smith built a reputation as a fan favorite, an articulate broadcast analyst, and a guy who famously fought off a home intruder to protect his family back in 2020. Now, seeing his mugshot pop up in the MMA community is hard. Now, someone you follow the combat sports in the ecosystem closely, how do you see the MMA community processing news like this? Somebody as famous like this?
I mean, it's difficult, but it's not the first time either, you know? Maybe this specific case, but yeah, I mean, I don't know where to even begin. Yeah, I feel like taking these hits, man, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Do you think Cody Garbrandt brought something about that? We talked about it last week. Maybe say have some program for fighters after they retire, because it seems that there's a demand for it right now. Because the UFC, I don't know if you remember, there was a lawsuit for the UFC because they did not have insurance for fighters, for health insurance, and that's how the UFC PI came about after the lawsuit. There's a work action lawsuit, that's what it was. A lot of fighters, I mean, McConley was part of it. I can't remember which one were another one. I think John Fish was also. That's a part of the lawsuit. They got to pay for it. The UFC, I can't remember how much they. I mean, I wish I had a computer to look it up. But there was a lawsuit for that. But that was for active fighters. Do you think does that same thing have to happen for fighters that have retired now, in order for them to have something happen? Because it's not just fighters that are being affected by this. There are relatives that are affected as well.
I mean, it would be good to have something like that. I agree. I don't know if the UFC is responsible to, provide that. Yeah, having some kind of counseling or therapy afterwards seems like it would be good for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, because the main thing that gets affected is not so much their hardware, but the software, their brain being affected by it. And you see plenty of fighters that this one you didn't see it coming that much.
Right. Yeah, this one was kind of out of the blue. I was not expecting that.
Yeah. And there's a serious charges. I mean, domestic violence causing serious bodily injury and threats, first degree false imprisonment, so it's like kidnapping. I wasn't able like to read it as much. Vaguely, I saw a headline today, or rather a article that said that he was fighting her at a bar, trying to get in the car, trying to run her over, but I don't know what else happened there. Do you know what happened?
I read the statement that got released about it. There's basically, yeah, they were fighting at the bar. He was trying to get her to go home, threatened to kill her at the bar. Eventually got her in the car and like they were on the way home. And then sounds like she got out of the car again and he started threatening her. And somehow she ended up back in the car. They made it home. And at home is where she tried to escape again. And that's where he started trying to hit her with the vehicle. That's just from the statement that I read about it.
Damn, that's some heavy stuff. Like, what can you possibly get in an argument that bad with somebody want to kill them? Especially your spouse. You have kids too. How do fans and media balance separating a fighter's legacy inside the octagon from these devastating real world actions that they're doing out of it?
I mean, you can't really separate the reputation, you know? I mean, I just don't think you can. If you were to look at it purely from the sport aspect, you know, phenomenal fighter, but yeah, it's all part of his reputation, right? So you
Yeah.
can't really separate it completely.
Yeah, I agree too. Because also the legacy within the octagon is only minimal time spent in the octagon. So whatever you are doesn't affect you based on your performance. Also, when you're out of it, that's actually affect your performance in like who you are outside those fights, in how you perform. That's more. It's more realistic rather than you performing, unless you have the case of exception like Cain Velasquez. He's not somebody that's like that. He's just doing it for protecting his family. That's different.
Yeah.
But other fighters that do all the also Dustin Poirier, no, so something like that. He seems like working on his stuff,
Right.
but it's just one time that have a slip up. But if you're trying to attack because it's different other people, civilians that happen that you go against, but against your own family, trying to kill them, that is serious stuff.
Yeah.
So there have to be other underlying things going on with his family, which is not hasn't been come up to the surface. Eventually will come up, hopefully. But it's still terrible regardless doing this kind of things to your wife.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you hope he gets help for
Mhm.
sure. You know, because that's another one of those things. He's clearly going through something that he can't do on his own. I mean, clearly cannot, because yeah, you don't go to those extremes. You don't do those things without needing help. But it's yeah. I'm sure CTE and getting punched in the head does not help, but also, I mean, these sort of things happen with non-fighters as well. So you got to realize that aspect of it.
Mhm.
You know,
Especially a bar too makes you wonder how much alcohol was involved in this scenario.
yeah, I would imagine a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's one. If one of the root causes was alcohol, be able to get that out of your life and work on. And then, I mean, take off that garbage out of your life. That's the causing that, and then start from there. For whatever is life, and build from there. Now, do you think they get back together? That's
I mean,
a rough one.
I wouldn't, but I've heard of crazier things.
Yeah, John Jones, fiance. But yeah, it is terrible when this kind of things happens, whether it's fighter or non-fighter or anybody. Be domestic violence and false imprisonment and terroristic threats. That's not good in the same sentence, regardless.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so now, all right, shifting over to college wrestling. With the transfer portal just delivered a seismic shift. Three-time All-American Meyer Shapiro. He's a two-time Ivy League Wrestler of the Year and former U20 World Champion. He's officially transferring from Cornell to the University of Nebraska. He still has eligibility left, plus a redshirt availability. He decided to chase his Olympics and World Team dreams at Nebraska RTC Regional Training Center in Lincoln under Manning. Nebraska is instantly injecting bonus points machine and national championship contenders into their lineup. Now, Nebraska has been right on the edge of making that serious push towards team trophies at the NCAAs. And looking at the Big Ten landscape, is Meyer Shapiro the exact missing piece that puts Nebraska into legitimate team trophy contention next March? Or is still too many gaps in the Husker lineups? Because remember, you have the top dog, freaking Penn State, and then you have Oklahoma State in there, the Cowboys, and now Nebraska, they're right there. Meyer Shapiro is a scoring machine. It comes to wrestling. His first year, he placed third in nationals. Second year, that's the guy. Remember I told you about that he passed out. He had seizures. He had blood in his lung or something like that. From I can't remember what it was, cutting weight or something like that. Like few weeks before, I think it was during regionals that happened before nationals. He placed fifth that year. And then last year, he was injured at the beginning of the season. I think his record was like 15-3. And he was able to compete in nationals and place eighth, even though he had an injury default for the seventh place match. He placed eighth place in nationals. So he's 3 times All American. It seems like wrestling might not be his sport, being injured that many times.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really hard.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also maybe that's the reason why he changed schools, is the way they're training.
That could be. Maybe their way of training doesn't match his body type. That seems entirely possible.
Yeah. But it looks like a top contender, especially for Nebraska. Nebraska is pretty good school. They're pretty tight knit of wrestlers in there, except for freaking another knucklehead, AJ Ferrari. He's a wrestler there, but they're pretty good in their team. A former teammate of mine, he's one of the assistant coaches there in Nebraska, and they're really really close team. Their coach is old, but he's one of those teams that don't spend that much money in the transfer market.
Okay.
They like building their guys. You want to come for us and train for a team, and you want to compete in the world team because they have a regional training center there for the Olympic team. You can come in there because there's always opportunity for you to wrestle beyond college. In kind of like an internship for your job, you in college.
Yeah.
Internship for wrestling. But it's always applause for any type of program. But yeah, I want to see how he does. He's really really good. I mean, 2-time Ivy League Wrestler of the Year. But makes you wonder, dude, do you have to love wrestling that much that you're graduating from your diploma is going to be saying Nebraska, it's not going to say Cornell University as Ivy League. When you graduate, when you get your bachelor's, that's a big difference, isn't it, for a job? Because you graduate for Ivy League. Which would you choose, wrestling for another school or your degree have a Cornell degree? That's the dilemma.
Right? I mean, yeah. I guess it depends on my degree.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, some places really, or some occupations really don't care where you get your degree as long as you have one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
you have business degree out of Cornell or Nebraska.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
To go from New York to Nebraska, that's a big cultural shock too.
That I believe. Yeah.
He went to high school. Well, he won his tournament. I mean, his year he won the state championship was in Maryland, but he went to Wyoming Seminary Prep, which I don't know what the hell that is. This is that's PA. Because I was trying to see how much cultural difference it will be. Because yeah, Ithaca, New York compared to Nebraska is a big difference. Middle of nowhere, Lincoln, Nebraska. Oscars. To give you an idea, wasn't there? Nothing but corn. There was fans sometimes they do like a rivalry in college. One time they had Nebraska versus Iowa. So no, we have the real corn. Compared to give you an idea how much what do you look forward to if you're going to. But yeah, like I want to see how he does for because the coach was pretty good in Cornell, but this is the only guy that All American last year in the team, considering Cornell was big red. Was like one of the top 10 teams before. Now Nebraska is the big red apparently. Stanford's lighting in as well. They had a national champion last year, was a freshman. So we'll see how Nebraska does next year with the addition of Meyer Shapiro. But now changing from college wrestling to let's talk about media business because this affects every wrestling and BJJ fan listening to us right now. Flow Sport officially launched a free ad-supported channel, a fast channel on Amazon Prime Video. They're promising 300 plus live events replaced in original documentaries across their verticals. Now we know that a running joke in the constant fans frustration with Flow, the $150 plus annual paywall. Fuck you guys. Anyways, their playbook here seems pretty clear. Give casual fans free live content on Prime Video, build a top of the funnel, and try to convert them into paid subscribers for the premiere events. Nani, you and I both know paywall fatigue is real across all streaming apps right now. From the fans' perspective, does a free Amazon Prime channel actually do the work to grow wrestling and BJJ to wider audience, or is this just a clever marketing funnel that paid subscriber will optimally ignore?
Think it helps. I mean, I know quite a few people who are not willing to pay, $150 for Flow, whereas, they already might have a Prime account. So, especially, yeah, you got a whole bunch of like bundle deals with Prime now. So,
Yeah, I mean, one is in there.
yeah, right.
They
Well,
do
you,
BJJ
you can,
events too.
yep. And you can subscribe to Paramount through Prime as well.
Mm-hmm. HBO as well.
Think I'm
As
not sure
HBO
about that.
Stars. I can't remember which one stars or HBO one
Yeah.
or two. But yeah, they can do a bundle there. But I mean, if they do this is a free one, it would be nice to be able to.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if they're going to do because the timing seems tricky because right before ADCC. When's ADCC this year? I'm saying it's next month. I mean, no, in September.
12 and 13.
Mm-hmm. So I wonder how many there, if they're going to be streaming it on Amazon Prime because, I mean, the Amazon Prime might have a better when it comes to broadcasting because Flow Sport, wrestling, or grappling has always been the issue of glitching or freezing.
For sure.
I wonder if this will help that problem, especially one of those big events like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it changes there.
Do you think it's one of Craig Jones' master plans? Because remember, they did that try with CGI too. They did it through YouTube free, and then they kept in the vault in Flow grappling. I wonder if they're doing the same thing through Prime because they want to support the whole stream with having issue in during YouTube. They also they're streaming it live in Flow grappling, but it seems that they were to offload the problem when it came to live event. Especially being ADCC, a lot of people watch it because, especially not when is it going to be this year?
What was that?
Where it's going to be a Poland. That's what it's going to be. How many people are going to Poland to ADCC compared to watching it online? Currently, saying Flow Grappling is in charge of streaming live the ADCC Championship. I mean, if they were to do it through Prime, that reaches a lot of people. Although I don't know how many countries are allowed to watch Prime like that.
I know different countries have different versions of Amazon, basically,
Mhm.
but I don't know.
What does Brazil have since it's Amazon?
Yeah, right.
It's the river. But if freaking flow sports can be able to reach any type of country for ADCC, I'm pretty sure Amazon be able to as well.
I would think.
They have bigger reach and they have more resources for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, wondering what kind of documentaries they will have available in there
True.
for flow sport, because this is flow sport, not just flow grappling and flow wrestling. Because they do a lot of motocross and other things. They do college events as well. I wonder if those will be included, because 300 plus live events. That's a lot. Different sports.
That is.
So I wonder how many of those, because do you ever watch Fuel TV back in the day?
Think so?
They used to have like rodeo. They used to have races like bicycle races, all kinds of stuff. They used to have, especially races like drag racing. I wonder if that's that way if Flow Sports is going, and then you're going to show it on Amazon Prime, some of those live events. Because it'll be interesting. They'll be able to do it that way.
That will. I'll be interested to see what what comes of it.
Mm-hmm. Because you never know nowadays.
Right, exactly. It could be really good, and it could be super limited and just a few shows, or yeah.
So hopefully it'll be something good out of it. Especially people to reach new fans.
Right.
That don't watch the sport. Especially being ready available, be able to show your friends and like, hey man, you should turn to this and watch this if you're really interested. Especially the Olympics of no-gi grappling.
Yeah, for real. Yep.
A lot of fast pace compared to IBJJF world.
Yeah.
It's not good for trying to get some of your friends interested.
No. Unfortunately, that's really not, and it's one of the highest level competitions in jiu-jitsu, and it's just not great.
Yeah. You're like, dude, like, how much is the gi? You tell me. I have to pay for the gi, a special gi, because if it doesn't measure well, you can't go compete in there. So this is special gi, you have to buy it there. Anything is this low, like, doesn't get that much interest for a casual.
Yep.
But it'll be good to see. I want to see how it will help to grow the sport, whether wrestling, jiu-jitsu, all the ones. Especially the Olympics are coming. Give some eyes so you can be some more. I mean, freaking, they were to get fans for soccer. It's more boring sport. Buy into it. Everybody was singing freaking, what's the name? For the US, they were singing that song every time the US will play. Take me home, touch me home to a place I belong. West Virginia. Everyone in the room was singing that damn song everywhere.
Right.
Because of soccer. I mean, they were to do soccer, they should be able to do for grappling.
I would think. Yeah, I would think.
Self-defense. Anybody can use that nowadays. Now, speaking of self-defense, there's some forum question for the BJJ community. Somebody was asking a question, complaining about somebody being a big, like, fat jiu-jitsu practitioner and whether they're able to lose weight. Do you think some people, they do jiu-jitsu for self-defense or for getting fitter, like lose weight? Does it have to be either or it have to be both?
I mean, definitely both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've known. Yeah. Well, are you asking if they need to be for both, or if they're one?
Does it have to be for both?
No. Sorry. Yeah, I could. I mean, yeah, one or the other.
Mm-hmm. Because now, how many times you seen a brown belt with abs?
True.
That's a question. Because I'm going, like, that's an always running joke about, I'm gonna get in good shape so I can do jiu-jitsu. But maybe when you go start jiu-jitsu, you get in worse shape. Can't run anymore. Your knees are fucked. Can't lift weights because your grip is shit, because you are freaking holding the lapel for too long. Your fingers are all cracking and shit. So literally you cannot be as fit as you wanted to be, but your jiu-jitsu is better.
I mean, yeah.
So which should you have to pick? Like, or you want to pick to be healthier, but your body's gonna be hurting.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, it's still the most entertaining workout you ever get. So, in my opinion, it's worth it.
You get to learn. You can learn every day. You're in there.
Yeah.
That's the fun part of jiu-jitsu. You get to learn every day, whether win or lose. Because if you're losing, you learn not to do that again. If you're winning, you learn how to do a different move or the same move, setting it up differently.
Mhm.
And that's what makes it fun. Because it's not just doing the same exercise. Things can be fun. How many times can you bench every freaking day of the month? It's not fun.
Right.
Do the same thing. Compared to our box jumps. CrossFit people, I'm talking to you. Box jumping and burpees and shit. How many burpees do you have to do until you actually have fun out of it? Because you learn the same skill. Boom. That's something else you want to have your take on it. Do you have to do both, or does it have to? It can be either or.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I could definitely benefit both.
Yeah, but it doesn't have. You have to do both at the same time.
Right.
Now, next story, we begin absolute legal roller coaster in high school sports. The New Jersey High School State Athletic Commission, they have a controversy committee and voted 8-0 to retroactively strip Rutgers commit Anthony Knox Jr. of his 2025 Region 7 and his New Jersey state title. A quick recap for anyone who forgot: Knox was involved in a melee in the bleachers during a district tournament in 2025. The State Athletic Association disqualified him, but Knox's team secured a court injunction allowing him to wrestle, where he went on to win in what was his fourth state title on the mat. Now, almost a year and a half later, the New Jersey exercised its authority to void the title for sportsmanship violations, effectively erasing him as the New Jersey fifth four-time state champion. That's how difficult it is. Only being four-time state champion in New Jersey. Now, this opens up a massive debate between what happens on the mat versus sportsmanship enforcement in the court system. Did the New Jersey State Athletic Commission or Athletic Association make the right call by drawing a line in the sand on athlete conduct, or should the title earn with physical dominance on mat stand regardless of the mat chaos? What's your take?
It's hard. Feel like, yeah, I kind of have to agree. I feel like you have to conduct yourself well. I mean, I fully believe somebody could be, heckling too far, they can, the crowd can cause problems, but I think you got to control yourself,
Yeah. Unless you're trying to defend yourself, that makes sense. But if you're trying to jump, especially jumping into the bleachers, in cause chaos, because tournaments are already chaotic as they are, whether it is wrestling or you've been to some of these jiu-jitsu tournaments, how chaotic they people are just right literally on top of each other, just yelling at them, man.
Yeah.
So you can get out of control really, really fast, and then not having an athlete helping the cause, trying to control chaos.
That's the thing. I mean, if it's out of hand, in my opinion, they just need to say something, because you can kick spectators out of tournaments. That's not unheard of. So yeah, to me, you got to control yourself and, report things appropriately.
Yeah. Because they also transfer to your job. If you don't like somebody at your job that's doing something, you're not going to beat that shit out of them.
Right.
You get fired for it.
That's the thing. I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah.
Now, do you think he should get his title strip? So he make a sample out of it?
And I don't know how long the stripping this title that he got a while back, right?
A year and a half ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do agree with it, but I wish they had done something sooner.
Yeah.
Either at the tournament, like DQ, get him out of there, or, I think faster action should have been taken, but I think it probably was the right call.
Mm-hmm. Just to make an example, because I don't think he's supposed to be wrestling that state tournament, because I think according to what happened was this happened during a district tournament, like to qualify for state, and the team was able to get a court injunction to allow him to wrestle for the state tournament.
Really?
Yeah, because he was supposed to wrestle for the state tournament, so he was able to get a court injunction to be able to compete in the state tournament. He was able to compete and win the tournament because he wasn't allowed to wrestle in the state tournament.
Okay. Dang, that's interesting.
Yeah. So there's some sort of loophole that he was able to find. But I mean, at this point, it might kind of affect your legacy, but you're already committed to a college in the next part of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is one more state title just taken off? Like, you're already in college. You're already committed to a team. Like, that's the reason you are trying to get that title, so that we be to get to a better college or whatever you want to wrestle. I mean, if you're already into the next part of your life, well, you should worry about what you're able to get back then. So it should be no factor nowadays. It's not like you're going to do jail time for it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean, if you're in the wrong, I mean, you have to face the consequences of your actions regardless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And learn from that scenario. If anything, that's what you can learn. That you cannot outrun that long arm of the law. Whether you're not in high school anymore or not.
Yeah.
It's a tricky situation. Because I can't remember. I remember seeing his defense was that his family was being attacked in the stands, and he ran into the stands and fight other people. That's what he said. He was defending his family. The people that were heckling him. Now, another thing was somebody was heckling him, and the dad got into a fight, and then he jumped into the crowd whenever his dad was fighting somebody else. That's always two sides of the story. But regardless, they should at least have like security. Like, hey, man, these people are. I mean,
right.
People control regardless.
I mean, yeah, you could hope that they, the tournament should do something about that, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, in my opinion, yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah, this is definitely a biased opinion in that I've never been in that situation. But my thoughts are, if I'm jumping into the crowd to save my family, I'm accepting the consequences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think I would feel too bad about that.
Yeah.
Even losing the title,
Yeah. You know you weren't going to be able to compete next tournament because of what you did. So be willing to, hey, man, live by the sword, you die by the sword, figuratively speaking. And allegedly, there was also somebody, I can't remember, there's a rumor going around now. Speaking of rumors, saying that the kids that were like in the bathroom trying to get him right up to heckle him so that we were able to win the 4th title as a state champion.
Mm-hmm.
That's what started. I mean, if they were to get in his head, it worked apparently.
Right. It doesn't seem that crazy that somebody would do that, in my opinion. But yeah, again, you gotta watch for that sort of thing, right? I mean,
yeah. The moral of the story: don't feed the trolls.
Mm-hmm.
They'll always win if you feed them.
Yes.
Give you some fuel.
Yep.
Now, to wrap up our news slate, we have to give respect to modern legend, 2-time NCAA champion, 4-time All-American, and U23 world champion Keegan O'Toole has officially announced his retirement from competitive wrestling. He's hanging up the shoes, but he's in living Colombia. He's staying on Brian Smith coaching staff in the University of Missouri. The Keegan brought a style that was absolutely shit code to watch. That scramble, heavy, funky Askren Wrestling Academy style. His battle against David Carr at 165 pounds will go down in college wrestling lore. Nate, Seeing an elite guy retire early in his mid-20s to the decision to coaching is becoming a fascinating trend in modern wrestling. When you look at Keegan's accolades and his impact on college folk style, where does he rank among the all-time fan favorites to ever walk out of the Missouri wrestling room? Because you have other ones in there. I mean, you have the GOAT, Michael Chandler, coming out of Missouri.
That's true. That's a hard one.
Also, you're the top. Apparently, the top was Missouri. But you have a lot of wrestlers. Ben Askren came out of there. Another one was Tyron Woodley, wrestled in Missouri. Who else came out of there? Jaden Cox is really good. He wrestled like the Matrix. He's the one that wrestled John Jones and made John Jones look like he was walking on mud.
Really?
Yeah. He was a big guy. I think it's like 225. That's what it was. But whenever he wrestles John Jones, he does a lot of misdirection. You know how you roll your ankles whenever you're warming up? He does that with wrestling. He will do that switching stance in switching direction. So he will roll his ankle right and switches to the left. So he's trying to change the direction to prevent his shot. Then he's shooting on that side. Actually, it's on your side and attacking the other side. He's really, really good. Yeah, Jaden Cox. Shout out to him. He retired because he was losing to guys that he feel like he should have been beating. But he's now one of the coaches for the younger team, like U20, like U18, 16, like that, which is really good having him in staff. But he's also another Missouri legend. But Keegan O'Toole is also among them staying out there. He's funky wrestling. Which you wonder, because funky wrestling in folk style usually doesn't transition to freestyle. In folk style, you can go to your back and do scrambles of that. In freestyle, every time your back touches the mat, your opponent gets points.
Okay.
So whatever is your bread and butter does not transfer to the next discipline when it comes to wrestling. Now go back to Jaden Cox. Jaden Cox was a 3-time national champion, 197 pounds. But and he wrestled for the US, I think, 10 years, and he medaled every year. How good is that?
Yeah, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't really allow for, bad days.
Yeah. And then whenever, I think as a COVID, he was able to compete he was listening to some guys when it comes to like making the world team or the national team. Jaden Cox, and he said like, yeah, I think it's time for me to step down and just pass knowledge to the next generation, because he's listening to guys that he should have been beating. It's a good awareness too to have.
It is, rather than just, dragging it out and ruining your reputation. I wonder if people are more prone to do that when they have coaching in mind.
Yes, because it gives you a perspective of the outside, probably.
Right. Well, yeah, and if you're constantly taking matches and losing them, I feel like you're losing your reputation as a winner.
Mm-hmm.
For coaching. People are going to like a coach that has a winning record.
Yeah. Even though you can wait for a lot of losses, but you never see a winning coach. Because you have a session like Freddie Roach was one of those boxers that he was a brawler. Like, he had those instances that they fight the opposite how they coach. I've seen that happen. For example,
no, I haven't recognized that, but
Dwayne Ludwig was another one. He was a brawler when striking. He came to MMA. He will like brawl, but whenever he coaches, he's really technical. He likes to getting his guys to misdirections. That setup is not like 1-2. It's usually combos, and then getting out of the way at the same time.
Interesting.
Because I guess you learn the hard way.
Yeah.
That things don't work. And he wasn't like a champion either. Dwayne Ludwig in the UFC, he was never a champion there. Freddie Roach was a brawler, and that's probably what he caused. I don't want to speculate, but it seems like a lot of his brain injuries that, remember, he has Parkinson's. Freddie Roach, and his speech impediment might have caused because being punch drunk too. But look at the people that he has coached, then you're able to do well.
Right. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Also, you have to take consideration is the wealth of knowledge that some of these coaches, for example, the example of Freddie Roach, I think his family was a boxing family. Him and his brother were boxers.
Okay.
So, I mean, you have the knowledge in there from previous generation, and then you yourself as a boxer, and then the knowledge that you learn from that, and be able to study from other people. Going back to soccer, there's like this guy, his name is Sabi Alonso. His dad was a coach when he was a kid for this local team. His dad played for, I think it was Sevilla. I can't remember what it was. But his dad coached there when he was playing there. Now, he went to play in Liverpool. He played under Benitez, was a big coach there. He played under Mourinho. He played under Pep Guardiola. They're like great, like winning Champions League, like European titles. When under Ancelotti he's the only coach to win championships in all of the major leagues. Like for example, in Spain, England, France, Italy, and Germany. He's the only coach to win in all those 5 countries in that league. And also, he won the Champions League in few of those. He won with AC Milan. He won with Real Madrid as a coach. I mean, in Xabi Alonso playing under him, in all the knowledge that you have from your dad, plus the knowledge that you have as a player, and the knowledge that you learn on all those coaches, because all those coaches they have different coaching mentality and approach. And I mean the wealth of knowledge they have in there. And now he's a coach now for Chelsea. He got fired from Real Madrid. Now he's coaching for a London team. He's bringing to the EPL. I mean, how much knowledge do you have there to be able to learn?
Yeah, that's astounding amount of experience.
Yeah, and also if you are used to being in a circle of winners of all those coaches, you able to pick what's good from each coach and back, because
Right.
different coaches might be really good coaches, but they're terrible managers when it comes to relationship with the players or you athletes, because they only focus on performance. Like you do this right, you do this wrong, and if you don't do it, like you fell out of favor. That's different. And then you have other ones that are really more laid back coaches, in which they just let you do whatever you want, and they be able to like, hey man, pull you in at the right time, pick you up whenever you're having a bad confidence, having some confidence issues, things like that. Because they're different coaches that have different methodology to coach. But if you're able to get all those knowledge in having that perspective of the as a coach from the outside in, you're not be able to perform as well as you think you should be, or be able to compete at that level. It's probably time for you to go on to the next thing.
Right. Right. Agreed.
Because another guy that I can think of in jiu-jitsu would be Lovato, Rafael Lovato Jr. Because his dad was a coach. I mean, he did jiu-jitsu. Lovato, he also performed in ADCC. Even though he never won ADCC, he got a bid this time, invited for ADCC to compete, but he said he's not going to do it. Thank you for the invite, but he's not doing it, the ADCC, to the Gauntlet. His body's not able to do anymore. That was one of his goals, to be a ADCC champion, but it's not in the card for him. He just wanted to move on to the next chapter of his life as a coach.
Interesting. Yeah, it's good ultimately,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so gives you a idea of how some of these athletes, they're humble, because not everybody wants to be humble and step back. Like, want you to help the next people or somebody else, rather than just, oh, me, and just staying there about trying to get as much money as possible, especially when it comes to sponsors. But it's good to see people like that are able to have a good perspective. Now, the thing, I'm going to go back to Keegan O'Toole. The main thing that made him really, really fun to watch was when he used to go against David Carr, because David Carr, his dad was Nate Carr. He was a 3-time national champion for Iowa State. David Carr wrestled for Iowa State as well. He won nationals, I think his freshman year at 157. Then he won another nationals against Mitchell Messenbrink. Messenbrink's freshman year. I think David Carr's last year as a senior. But Keegan O'Toole and David Carr were in the same conference. So that means they will eventually face in national, but they'll face each other during the regular season for their duel and also for their conference. Who's going to win the conference? And both of them were fun to watch. David Carr had explosive double leg takedown. But meanwhile, Keegan O'Toole, he was a scrambler. Like whenever you were able to put in a position, just scramble out of that position. And it was fun to see both of them. They're like they match each other, be able to go against each other because they're two top dogs in that conference. And of course, if Cream rises to the top, so it doesn't mean because that guy is in your conference, you meet the performers in the nationals. Eventually, they face each other in the national tournament in the finals. That's how good they were.
Yep.
But that's what made Keegan O'Toole fun to watch as well because he was able to go against other guys. I want to say he beat, I can't remember his name, Levi Haynes, Penn State. He used wrestle his last year at 174. But I think he beat Levi Haynes when he was a 157 pound. I mean, dude, he's one Ben Askren project. That's why he came out of high school. And that's why they call him Funky 2.0 because of Ben Askren. But man, his last season, he had a bad knee. He had a bad knee injury. And even though he had a bad knee injury, he was wearing, those oversized knee braces. This metal knee braces that some of the wrestlers that were. That's what he had to wear to go out there and wrestle. And still made it to the finals in nationals.
Dang.
Just to give you an idea how good a wrestler.
Yeah. Wow.
He lost in the final against Dean Hamady at 174, I think. But I mean, he earned his spot.
That's an adaptable game. My gosh.
Wrestling on one leg. And also being freaking able to scramble. Sometimes you have to shift on that bad knee. And sometimes they twisting that bad knee out of place and you try to scramble out of it to get in a good position. And you have to suck it up and be able to compete. But also, maybe that added up to him retiring early for the injury that he had. Because being funky, it is good, but sometimes your body's not so funky at all. Because, for example, I wonder what the longevity is of the career of a 10th planet jiu-jitsu person.
Yeah, it can't be that good. Really, it can't.
Because, I mean, even Eddie Bravo, he has a freaking titanium vertebrae because his back was all jacked up. Even after he got that, his back still, he's not able to roll life anymore because of back issues.
It is unfortunate, but yeah, the game styles do make a big difference.
Another example is Jeff Glover. He has back issues too. He was wild back in the day. You love watching him. But you can only do that for so long. I wonder that added up to early retirement, some of these guys. But what do you think will be the happy medium? Was to be fundamentally good or being a scrambler, be able to weird positions?
Medium?
Yeah.
Say, I mean, there's some pros and cons to all of them, right? But also, you get guys like, to be honest, Gordon Ryan. I don't really picture him being he's not a scrambler. He's just fundamentally really good, and he's, top tier. So in my opinion, probably just being fundamentally good is the way to go.
But you're Gracie, another example.
Yeah, yep. It just takes less of a toll on your body.
There's somebody made an observation about how the coaching or like the evolution of the sport, because sometimes it will be the part in which you have the school of thought, drill one move 1,000 times and get good at that move. And then you have the other school of thought that be able to get them in scrambles in which they're not used to be able to like get them into bad positions and be able to get them out of positions to be able to score on them. But now it seems that nowadays they're able to stay in good positions and don't make those mistakes and be able to get fundamentally beat everybody to the punch. So instead of getting into this role or going a certain way, they dominate the roles, whatever it may take. Try beating to the punch every single time. It's kind of like playing chess, beating to the next move, beating to the next move. So they are aware for every position, not just one move, and be able to beat him before he becomes a factor, being compromised. That's what seems that the way the sport is going. In which that's what Gordon Ryan was good at. Because, like, I mean, if you go back to Gordon Ryan, his game, he was a smaller guy. He was to like in position. Then he went to the leg lock part. Then the leg lock part became a factor. And then after that, he was able to go into the back takes. You see his game, he was getting to your back, dude, he was mothering you every time. Because everybody's trying to catch up with the leg lock part. I mean, he was able to get good position. And not so much attacking one leg, then he became the factor, become the double trouble in the cyborg match. You know what I mean? When he got there, it was game over. Tangle both legs. But then people were able to wise up and not be able to get in this position. And when they were able to defend legs, they were giving up their back, in which they was able to evolve. And Marcelo was one of the other guys when it comes to back takes. I mean, he was dominant for the same reason, be able to take the back as a smaller guy, anybody, any size.
Yeah. He had his fundamental stuff that he just did really well.
Mm-hmm. And he does take more strength. Having good setups. But he actually became so dominant. He one of the GOATs, Marcelo Garcia. And he has to have a freaking tight squeeze. I've heard that he has a tight squeeze when it comes to like a lot of like renegade show, like Marcelo team.
Yeah.
In the north south.
Because I mean, it's definitely not even the squeeze is technique. So, I mean, yeah, I'm sure he had that down.
Yeah, because I mean, how many times have you been in a submission that you have it locked in, but you wear out your arms? How many times that happened to you?
Quite frequently.
Dude,
Yeah.
North South was one of those positions I used to always struggle. Because the North South is one of those submissions in which you have to be patient. You cannot rush it.
It can be hard to feel if you actually have it as well.
Yeah, you not be like some of the guys. Whenever you get on there, it was a neck crank. It was a show. Well, also you want to make a neck crank in practice because that way you say knowing your chokes, your grips, and your squeeze, you feel comfortable where you are able to apply the pressure where it's supposed to be. Instead of cranking somebody's windpipes on the rear naked choke, just attack the carotid, in which is a flash choke. That you send them into a tunnel, everything just goes there immediately, knowing where to apply the pressure. But it takes a lot of patience to get there, especially the north-south. Because you don't want to let the head lose north-south, or they getting a south-north choke on you. They get a choke on you when you're trying to apply being a little too patient, perhaps.
Yes.
You get stuck in their choke in there, but it is par. That's some practices that are really important, even the life bar. Because those things that you cannot drill. So many times you have to drill north-south choke and you don't get any resistance.
Yeah, I mean that one's all in the setup, all in the placement. You got to be really patient before you even start applying anything. Because if you apply too soon or too late, too soon, it won't do anything. You'll burn yourself out. Too late, and they just escape.
And then your arms are wore out. I thought that I had a pretty decent head and arm choke, able to get there. I thought because I had a pretty decent head and arm choke, I'll be able to apply the same thing to north-south, but it doesn't seem that way.
No, I really, to me at least, north-south feels different than most other chokes. Yeah, it's a strange one. I like it a lot.
Yeah, but it's hard to apply.
Yes.
And then it takes all their attacks, and there's no guard from there.
That's what I like about it. Yeah, it's so isolated. Although even when I felt like I was like pretty good at it and like pretty practiced, there's still certain people that I could not get it on. Like, I don't know if they had like a small neck, so I couldn't do it, but like genuinely, I could not figure out how to get certain people in it.
Yeah. There's some people that, yeah. They also have, like, for example, the people that you talk about, small neck. Some people have big head and small neck. So whenever you get to the neck, it's hard for you to get there because the squeeze is so much. You try and squeeze the head so much. They finally get to the neck. They're out because they're usually able to get their head in there. So the difference of between head and neck ratio, like a freaking mash stick or like a microphone, it's hard for, like a freaking cake pop. That's when they literally, it's hard to get it in there, the choke. But it is just those. That's like, it is like little things that make big difference. And like, oh man, you have to go back again against that person. I get it. And then switch it to something else. In worst case scenario, you have to switch it to a fist, iron fist, because no results may vary, as they say. Though I don't have anything else, or do you have anything? Okay, you're close now.
Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed the cast. You can give us a listen on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. Give us a follow on Instagram. Let us know what you like and what you don't like. See you guys next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Mad Matters podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube, so you never miss an episode. Drop us a review, share with your training partners, and keep rolling on and off the mat. Until next time, keep fighting, keep learning, keep growing.